Yes.
Is they? You
He's
know
one
why?
of the GOATs. He's not the GOAT of
Because
GOATs.
when you say that, his story,
He even
used
said
to
it.
be a doorman. He used to be a doorman at the Comedy Store. He was the little young kid at 14 that used to watch everybody on the come up. He was the man that turned down $50 million after creating his own show and said, "No, I will not sell it to you people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do what you want with me. Nah." You know what I mean? Like, comedy being his niche and then became something more?
Like,
or was it just innate in him the whole time?
Like, you gotta remember how he first started. He even said like he used to be playing. He was in a grown world, mastering an adult form at 14 years old with his mom going to like performing at strip clubs and dirty ass bars, picking him up and dropping off after she's worked the shift, hoping that her son would be home the next day or the evening, like when he comes from like doing his show. He had to learn. And I'm pretty sure, he has his own goats that he looks up to. And he just probably picked apart what he felt he emulated and resonated with him and just made it his own thing. That's how it is usually with anything. It's like you pick apart for somebody that was great. It works with like painters. It works with like people in sports. It's like they always say like, oh, who'd you learn this from? Or like, who was your biggest inspiration for learning this? So he probably picked apart, probably from like great like Richard Pryor, George Carlin of his times, like his comedians, his goats.
Yeah, like his goats. You already know who his goat. Eddie, like
Paul Mooney, all those guys.
Paul Mooney, what?
Definitely. If you watch any of their specials, they were hilarious.
Of course. But like I said, he's like I couldn't even argue until somebody told me that he's the greatest comedian of our time. And I'm a comedian head. I love my comedians.
He's our Jay-Z of comedy.
But I think he's something more than that, man. That nigga, that.
But you're right.
He. The reason he's so sharp is because even through this pandemic, he was performing at like one of his friends' like wedding chapel thingies that was set up in the backyard.
Yep.
He was performing there. You know, he was still doing performances. He came up spitting in parks. He's outside in the parks of where he used to live, and he's sitting there with a microphone and sharpening his skills. Yep. So when he's up there on stage, I feel like I'm in that crowd, and they say comedians say that's only maybe 60% of what it really feels like to be at a comedy show. Yep. To see it on TV is maybe 60%, right? Yo, when I see him,
when you feel the energy around you,
son, that nigga is hilarious.
So how you feel about the whole transgender thing that's been popping up with him?
What do you mean? It's been a thing
because like people got fired because they were speaking out about his special.
What do you mean?
Like there was like I think one of
people at Netflix, right?
Yeah,
they had gotten fired because they had an opinion.
Yep.
About.
And then recently there was like a leaked report about how much they made from the special, how much they gave Chappelle for that special to
total
release
all
it.
3 of them.
But for that and Squid Game,
it was a deal. He got a deal
for that and Squid Game. They announced like somebody leaked it and they ended up getting fired because they leaked the documents on how much they made financially.
I mean the finance. What's the finance? Finance not a big deal.
Well, allegedly they gave him like $23 million for that one special.
He deserves it. They're gonna that's gonna listen. When I think about, and that's the thing. When I think about Richard Pryor, right on the Sunset Strip.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
Right, I still can see that. I can still see that. When I think about Eddie Murphy, Raw and Delirious.
Mind you, that was a 2-part special, the Sunset Strip.
I can still see those though. When I think about what Dave Chappelle just did with the 3 specials, 4, right? Because one of them was a 2-part.
First one was with that OJ Simpson. I forgot that one.
That's one, and then the second one was a 2-part.
Oh, Epiphany something.
Second one
and
was
Sticks and Stones.
Let me look it up. Go ahead.
It was something Sticks and Stones, and then there was like I know he did like 2 special drop, and then he dropped another one, Sticks and Stones, and then he did this one, Closer. So he already had 4 in like the past 3-4 years, I believe. But for Dave Chappelle, from being on Star Search back in the day to working the comedy circuit to able to get his own show, Chappelle's Show, saying a lot of crazy shit for the early 2000s that it was like
he had The Age of Spin, Deep in the Heart of Texas. Yeah, I could put it up.
Oh yeah, those were like the special that didn't.
Yeah,
Those are not Netflix ones. Those are like the
Oh. So the Netflix ones was
Yeah.
the bird revelations, right?
yes,
Sticks and Stones.
yes,
The Closure
yes.
and
Epic's that weird name.
Equinim. Equanimity.
Yeah,
Fuck,
those are the
man.
four. Those
I
are the
could
four
do it.
specials.
I can do it,
this.
and just give me a
Oscar
second.
do, Oscar read.
My mouth won't do it. My brain does it. Though.
Oscar read.
But yo, all right. When I think about his specials, if I'm being 1,000, let's think about that. I think that they're classics. I think they're gonna sit there for forever in time. I think where they're gonna go. You know, like they're gonna sit there for forever in time. They're Heat 23 million might not sit there for forever in time. Money comes and goes. But for Netflix to own the rights to that, that's forever money. And that's the point of making things like that. That don't matter what he got paid. I think people getting fired for the speaking out on the transgender thing is even weird. Because when you get a job, you sign a contract. The contract states you can't do certain things, right? Sexual harassment, discrimination. You know, says that you can't do. When you work for Netflix, I think that I would assume that there's a disclosure agreement where, as an employee, you kind of can't be biased against what comes out on the network because you're an employee there, and we are a network of content to put movies out for other people to enjoy. We aren't the God's end all be all. It's not. That's why we had a problem with Netflix during COVID, because we've been seeing them paint a narrative with the things they put up, where they put like little girls getting touched with the Olympics. People had issues having these shows up there
and
when they had the little girls in the pageants.
Yeah, the
people
tween
had
shit.
fucking issues.
That was fucking disgusting.
That's disgusting. You know, like Netflix has been in a little propaganda with this shit. So I think as a worker there has to be a disclosure that you kind of can't have. If you work for a bodega, you're not allowed to play with the lotto. You know, if you work for a bodega, you're disclosed from the lotto. Because you can just sit there and run it up all day. You're not allowed to. It's illegal. You're not supposed to be doing scratch-offs and playing lottery when you work for the bodega. You know, never get high on your own supply type shit, I guess.
Yep.
You know, so...
Because you could probably figure out, like, which ticket could be 1,000 a week for life.
Not even that. You just sit there and scratch until you get it. Fuck it.
Scratch the whole fucking roll.
Fuck it, right? Like... But
I think they have a generator cell, like if you scratch and you have to make sure that it's
of course.
You're not gonna sit there and just take money out of the cashier and just fucking buy like 10, 20, $25 scratch offs.
But see, I hope Netflix didn't fire and that's all right. Boom. If the people signed an agreement that they're not allowed to have feelings towards what comes out, do your fucking job. Do your job. Just fucking. And they had something to say because they felt offended. Well then, well then, you're fired because you didn't get the vaccine. That's all. That's all that you just told me right there in this conversation. You're fired.
Yep. That's another thing that's been rising up a lot.
You just came out of your contract, and we're gonna get into that. But you just came out your contract. You just came out of your contract because you're not supposed to feel and talk like that. You're not. Do your job. Since you feel that way, you're out. You're fired. I don't think they got fired because they're transgender. They obviously got fired because they spoke up about it. And I don't think they were. You're not supposed to, man. You're a media fucking. You're.
And one of them worked for Dear White People, which to me, like I've seen Dear White People, it's pretty much a parody of the black experience to me.
Well,
it's not what actual black people go through. To me,
isn't pop an entire stem off of the black experience? Is it urban? I hate that. I really hate things being stereotypes. If we all stop the stereotypical bullshit, transgender, you fuck this, you lick that, you stick this, you stick that. If we all stop it, like Dave should be able to say whatever he wants. Because he's a comedian.
Yep. And I feel, when you're entitled to your pay, you can love
this
it or hate it.
This is the role he fucking took.
Yep. You already know, like, if you see Dave Chappelle at this point, you already kind of know what to expect when it comes to what he's going to say.
You know the fucking...
Have you not seen the Chappelle show? How
Not
fucking
even-
crazy that fucking show
They
was?
probably didn't though, and that's the thing, you know, that and you can't hold that against them.
No, you can't.
You know what I hold
But
against
it's like
them?
you should
though?
know.
Yeah, I agree. But I hold it. You know what I hold against them though? Honestly, it's like he's a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
He is not spewing hate. He's not Hitler. He's not spewing hate speech. He's not Stalin. He's not Mussolini. You know what I'm saying? He's not Kim Jong Un. He's not Ping. He's not spewing hate speech against American culture, transgender culture. He's not spewing hate speech. He is having a fucking laugh. And he's doing what a lot of people are afraid to do because of the you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't think this, you can't feel that. So we're in this fucking weird dimension in 2021 going into 2022 where everybody got to be eggshell walking. He's a fucking comedian and he decided to go to the gym and pick up every weight in that motherfucker and start fucking bench pressing it. Mm-hmm. So fucked up. He picked a group of people that picked him to joke about it with it.
He was just working out.
It's a joke. Like
too well.
It's not. He's not saying nothing bad. He's literally
While the transgenders
laughing.
in the corner were looking at him like, yo, why is he lifting that in the corner?
It's the sensitivity thing though, bro, because I get it. I've been picked on. You've been picked on. We've been bullied. We understand what it is to be bullied and picked on and made fun of. But when you become an adult, Rich, when you become an adult, when you have self-esteem, right? If you got like pimples on your face and you're ugly and you're fucking nigga, go make $2 million a year. Fuck at what you look like. You can get anything you fucking want. That's the world we live in. You never have to be scared of who you are anymore and blame somebody for making fun of you for it. Go be better than it. Go be better than it. Do what you got to do to be better than it. Work out. Get your money. Get an education. Be smarter. Don't be like, people are so sensitive, my nigga, because they get put down because they look a certain way. Huh? Please grow the fuck up. Like, but that's what it is though. They don't know how to grow up. If they looked at it as a grown person, I think, and I know there's certain situations where people get taken advantage of, and a lot of bad things happen in life. Look what he said in the special. The girl that he was friends with, yep. she killed herself. Mm-hmm. She killed herself. Yo, that's it. But look what he did after. He started a GoFundMe for the child, the daughter. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So what if that person that killed themselves wasn't going to amount to anything in the world, right? And just be all fucked up because how the world is and how they're treated. Now that person met a person like Dave Chappelle who was inspired by their story that after they're gone in death, no matter who they were, trans this, that. I hate even saying words because I feel like we're all human. And whenever I say words, I give people power to be like, yeah, you're stereotyping too. I really don't care what fuck you got or what you do with it. Just don't do nothing bad with it. Don't try to force your feelings onto people that don't have them. You know what I'm saying? Don't go in a fucking club and try to force your feelings. Don't be on the news and try to force your feelings. Don't be on Netflix and try to force feelings upon people. That's not what comedy is. You make the choice to tune into a channel. But when you get mad at what somebody else is saying, you're forcing your feelings now. And that's my opinion on it. Like, if they would really sit back and acknowledge, if people in general, Cameron, shut up. If people in general would sit back and acknowledge, in my opinion, you don't have to be so sensitive, Richard. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and take a joke, take it on the chin. You can go ahead and it's sticks and stones, like Dave said, right? Mm-hmm. I think if people did that, we would have better dialogue because it's easier to talk through laughter. It's easier to talk through laughter. I told you, me and a person almost killed each other before, and then when I backed up the car and run up to fight him, we both apologized and hugged each other. I hugged the person I didn't even know in my life because it was 12:30 at night and we both were in the wrong. So we figured out in that moment how to make it right through dialogue and laughing about it. What he did is create dialogue for us to be able to laugh through trying to understand how other people feel. It's a fucking true comedian, bro. That's a jester. I think they said Mark. Who was the first? Oh man,
Twain?
No, it could have been Mark Twain, but I think it was somebody else. That's not even his real name.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah, yeah. He said that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
That's not even his real name to
what is
even
his
get
real
all
name?
that info. You don't have to look it up.
I want to look it up. I want to.
You wanna look it up,
I want to
right?
contribute something.
Well, you could just hey Siri.
Oh,
it.
Samuel Clemens.
There you go. He took it from a dead man. That's
But
crazy.
But he was called a humorist, which was before I guess the word comedian was humorist.
I mean, and that's my point. That's what people, man. Comedy has come so far. It's like UFC and fighting has come
Mark
so far.
Twain, if you read Mark Twain books like Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn, it's a lot of racist shit in there. But still,
there's only one thing that hasn't come so far.
racism.
This fucking vaccine.